Now, our special guest this morning, I can feel my buttocks squeezing tight in anticipation. It's near the knuckle comic, Scott Capurro. Now, Scott's been making people laugh unbelievably close to 20 years. You started telling gags when you were about 5.
Yes. Yeah. No, I actually did start doing stand-up when I was in high school because they needed a compere for a variety show, and I volunteered. And then it turned in from that into pretty much my show of me telling silly jokes, and then it never ended. OK, now, of course,
Scott's about to launch another run of his live chat show, Scott Capurro's Position. It's on at London's Vauxhall Tavern. It's on every Thursday through October. How does the show work? Who's on it?
Well, you'll find out. You're on the first
I'm on the first one.
You're on next Thursday.
Peter Tatchell.
Yeah, you and Peter. And it's just a light chat show, no plugging, just people coming on and doing what they like. There's a bit of music sometimes. It's a variety, so whatever we can get on. And
you've got some big names coming on as well, haven't you?
Matt Lucas is coming on soon, and Claudia Winkleman, and Boy George is going to come down, and it should be fun. I mean, the atmosphere's a bit raucous. Things can get out of hand a little bit. But, yeah, not because of me. Really, being a host is kind of fun because you let the guests do all the work.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, you've also done, I think this summer, some dates in the Middle East.
Yeah, I was in Dubai.
I find, did they extend a warm, brotherly welcome to you? Because I heard a rumour you're gay. I don't know.
It's just a rumour.
Oh, it's just a rumour.
And it follows me around. I don't know why.
Because they're notoriously warm towards gay people in the Middle East.
Well, they were very warm toward me. It was weird, you know. I think it's all hype, like the war itself. I mean, before I went, the guy who runs the club called me on the phone and said, "Just be careful, because if you talk about religion, they'll put you in prison and they'll rape you." And and I thought, well, and then I know. And then nothing. I find life is like that sometimes. But no, they weren't. We did anything we wanted. I was there with another very kind of edgy, he calls himself comic, and we did whatever we liked. And in fact, they made us more nervous than we had to be, because the audiences were just English and American expats that wanted to laugh. Abu Dhabi was a bit more conservative, a bit more money there, and so the locals were a bit tenuous.
Now, you see, I can understand you're having a sort of rough ride, if you'll excuse the turn of phrase, in the Middle East. But Australia, you've had, I heard you sort of effectively been banned from Australia.
Yeah. I eroticized the Christ figure on children's television. But I didn't know that it was children's TV. It's a long flight, and way out of my time zone. And you get there and you just do what you know. The thing is, I just think it's funny to blame comics for an audience's response. I just think it's odd to go to a comedy club and choose that night to be offended, which does happen sometimes. You know? Yeah. I mean, if you have, and last night a woman was telling me, "Oh, I didn't like that joke you told about Hans Fritzl." I'm like, well, it happened. I'm not kidding, but I didn't make it up. But, you know, you kind of, as a comic, you kind of feel obligated to deal with current stuff. So that's our job.
I think you should. I think you should. David?
Well, with my doctor hat on, I heard you had some horrific injury the other day whilst you were talking to someone here.
Yeah.
What happened, and are you better?
I was on the phone with a guy from I blame you, and I was moving my...
I don't mind.
I was moving my sofa, and it has metal feet, and I slid across my toe and sliced my toe almost in half.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but, you know, it didn't hurt at all.
Right.
But I looked down, and I'm like, oh, that looks bad. And then I'm on the phone, it's bleeding, and then I move my toe, and I could see the bone.
Oh!
I know.
Good.
Yeah, that was good.
What did you do?
I went to Boots, and the girl at Boots was like, seriously, she's like, you gotta go. And she gave me the money for a cab, and so I went to Whitechapel Hospital.
Right.
And the nurse was like, oh, sad face on a comic. You look so sad, and you're a stand-up comic. I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain and bleeding. Okay. And so they took a big fish hook, and I said, are you going to do any painkiller? No, you said you don't feel anything. And he stuck the fish hook in and did the, but he put it in the wrong toe, because he had big bottle glasses on. He couldn't see anything. And he's like, oh, I missed. Let me start again. At that point, it's just, yeah.
Go on, Amanda. I know you want to get in as well.
Blind doctors are always the way forward, aren't they? I've got a little question. Everyone's got a bit of a weird crush, but yours is slightly strange, isn't it? Nicholas Sarkozy?
Oh, yeah, he's hot.
Is it the power? Is it the stature? What is it?
How did you know? Do you suffer from the same?
I'm a mind reader.
Oh, right. Well, everyone thinks he's hot. He takes his shirt off all the time.
He thinks he's sexy. That's what's not sexy about him.
For one thing, I like little guys because you can do whatever you want with them. But also, no, you can't. No.
Is your lawyer watching
this? No, they're like children, only illegal. No, I mean, no. not children at all. They're full-grown adults.
My lines are ringing off.
But no,
Why
but what
do
I
you
mean
like-
is he's powerful and articulate and
short.
and needy and short and French. I mean, the accent when they stumble through English is so attractive.
OK. Let's stop you in full flow and tell the folks at home what we've got on the show for you today. After that, I want to know if you would let your kids wear these. Now, TV rules. They forbid me from telling you their correct name. It starts with an S and rhymes with flag. But for the purposes of our discussion, we'll call them sex bands. Now, each colour represents a different sexual act. Everything from kissing, oral, and everything in between, including tossing the salad, whatever that is. If someone...
I know what it is.
Don't ask him.
Please don't tell us. Don't tell
Ask him in the break.
Now, if someone breaks one of these bands, the wearer is supposed to do whatever its colour represents. OK, you break the black band, which means full intercourse, you're supposed to give full intercourse. Kids are going crazy for them. I want to know if it's just an innocent craze, a bit like a game of truth or dare, or something much, much more sinister. Would you let your children wear one? Let's have some papers then. What have you got for us now?
Oh, right. First, in the Telegraph, there's something about the MP's expenses which were leaked.
Because they were the paper that did them all, weren't they? Yeah.
They did initially, yeah. And the workers who processed the MP's claims included serving officers. And who were moonlighting between tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan to earn extra cash for body armor. And so they were moonlighting as well as serving. And then they found out these MPs are spending money. And one of the big complaints was Gordon Brown's Sky TV sports package was £36 per month.
Because I think that was the tipping point, wasn't it?
That for this guy, yeah. And that's when he turned in their expenses because he thought, I'm doing an extra job so I can buy body armor to go fight. And these MPs are watching sports in their off time and charging me for it, basically.
I would like to think that such an altruistic motivation would have resulted in whatever it was, the 300-odd grand that he was rumoured to be paid, then being 110, I think it came down to later, being distributed amongst fellow service personnel. That would be a nice thought.
Yeah.
Suspect it didn't happen.
No.
Surprising front-page story as well for the time.
Yeah.
OK, anything else?
In the Daily Mirror, a general in Afghanistan has quit in disgust. Major General Andrew McKay, who is led one of the most dramatic assaults on the Taliban in 2007, has left because his decision to quit comes just a month after he became General Officer commanding the Army's 2nd Division. He says there's a lack of support given to the troops, which kind of is what we're discussing earlier, too. But, you know, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they are killing machines, and then it's like, what do we do? It's kind of our responsibility.
Well, yeah, but it's the lack of support. When they're out there at the moment, we're still hearing about bad equipment, lack of helicopters and stuff like that, and a lack of support when they come home. You know, it's not a good story.
I think people are ashamed of the war, and they just don't want to be faced with it. They don't want to confront it.
Anything else?
There's in the Daily Mail, swine flu moonshine. In prisons, they've been putting alcoholic hand gel, dispersing it to the prison inmates, and the prison inmates found a way to boil it down, get the pure alcohol out of it, get loaded, and started beating each other up. And the prison warden was like, why is everybody so drunk and I'm not? And then he realized it was the hand gel, and they were buying it because it was cheap, antibacterial swine flu.
I believe, because I was telling my chums here on the show, I was aware that some down and outs were drinking this alcohol hand wash as well, because it's so available and so cheap. And it's also, and I think I'm right here, David, it is not the same alcohol you get in booze. It's a different type.
It's not.
Very, very
but this is really common.
I
I used to see this a lot in A&E departments, people using industrial solvents or anything they can get their hands on that are cheap. And, of course, the long-term effects are pretty devastating as well.
Okay.
Mouthwash, too. You get drunk on mouthwash. Really drunk, kids.
No.
But don't do it. Don't do it. That's what I'm saying.
No.
It's a bad thing to do.
Bad.
But, man, you get so...
One last one from you.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, and then in The Sun, we are all one lap dance away from sleeping with a celebrity. Apparently, on MTV, 1 in 20 people claim in Britain that they have romped around with a celeb. So we all have our chance still.
This is like that 6 degrees of separation, isn't it?
So, have you slept with any celebrities in your...
Only with myself.
Well, you get a band for that, I think.
There is a band for that, actually. You're quite right. Oh, dear, no, it can't be that one.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. OK, what have you got, Lamekins?
Right,